everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hello. My name is Angie, and on my channel I like to do vlogs, budgeting, talking. I can't speak today. Talking all things finance, and today what we are doing is a budget reset, or just a budget with me basically. So we're going to talk about the month of April that has just happened, and then we're also going to forecast for the month of May, talk about my earnings of my income, my predicted earnings in terms of my job. So I am a casual teacher, as well as doing social media online. Well, we're attempting to do social media online still. I'm going to run you through my accounts, how much I add into each of the accounts, and then also my savings. So my financial or savings goals and what those are going towards and what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to jump straight over onto my computer. I do everything in Excel just because I find it easier and it's not that hard to use. I don't use like any fancy formulas or anything like that. I basically just plug it in and use a calculator to hopefully make sure that my maths is correct. Make sure that you get yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and let's jump straight into it. So my salary predicted is pretty much the same every single month. I work for my partner and he pays me a salary, the same salary every single month, which is $4,000. So predicted is 4,000 and my actual was 4,000 as well. Social media, unfortunately, I didn't earn anything off social media. That's TikTok, Instagram. I didn't get any paid collaborations or any UGC, which is user generated content, which I'm a little bit not upset about, but disappointed that I didn't get approached or asked to produce content for any brands. So hopefully it'll be a little bit different next month. But again, I think it's just like the name of the game. I'm still really quite small. I'm not as big as obviously like a lot of other food influencers or like influencers out there. So $0. Teaching, I haven't actually done these days yet, but they are in the month of April. I'm filming this on the 27th of April, and the 28th of April, and I have 2 teaching days on the 29th and on the 30th, and I know that I'm gonna get paid for them. So it is around $410 a day pay for a CRT. And the reason why the rate is so high, like you might hear $410 and be like, oh my gosh, like that's a huge amount of money to be paid per day. It is, but keep in mind, we are only able to work 40 weeks out of the year, and we're not guaranteed a day every single week. So yes, there's 40 weeks out of the year for us to potentially work. But if you take into consideration, teachers aren't usually sick for like the first 2 weeks out of school, and then they're usually not away for the last 2 weeks of school. And then there's obviously like report writing where you have to be at school, interviews where you have to be at school. So you're not guaranteed days every single week. So you might have some weeks where you get 5, and then some weeks where you get 1, 2, or nothing. So you have to sort of budget and take into account and consider where you're going to spread that $410. So 410 times 2, because I'm doing it on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. So that is $820. So I'll put in $820 for that. And then the website, actually this is for the month of January, but I get paid for it in April. I was actually paid $913 for the website. Which isn't bad. It's just that January is a slower and lower earning month anyway, because most people are on holidays, they're away, they're not on their laptops making recipes or like looking up recipes to cook. So generally, January is lower if you do own a website and have ads running on it. A lot of brands and companies don't want to spend their AdSense dollars at that period of time too, because they know that most people aren't on their laptops consuming much content. Okay, so then the total for this, so it'll be 4,000 plus 820. So 4,000 plus 820 plus 913 is 5,700. There's a comma. $5,733. And then I always put aside money for tax, my HEX debt, which is my student loan, and superannuation, which is my retirement fund, and that is $2,005. Depending on how much I make in a month, I might put away more. So let's say, for example, that the website earned $2,000. this tax here might look a little bit different. It might be more because I've earned more. And then the same, like if the website only earns like $200, let's say, this might be less because I've earned less. I kind of adjust it depending on how much money I'm actually earning. And same with the teaching too. Like if I get 5 days of teaching, that's $2,000 that I'd be earning, which means that again, I'd have to bump this up even more. And same if I earned $2,000 from teaching, $2,000 from the website, this would obviously be significantly more because I'd have to account to put that money aside. So if I do 5,733 take away 2,005, that leaves me with $3,728 that I had left to spend for the month. Now, I'm not going to go through what I actually did with that money this month. Let's talk about May because it will look a lot nicer when I actually talk to you about May, and I can show you what I do with the money when it comes in, what I'm expecting the money to look like, how much I'm predicting to have earned or earned. So May will look a little different. Salary is obviously going to stay the same. I'm earning the same amount. Also, if you don't have a cup of tea or coffee, oh, it's cold, make sure you go and get one. So $4,000 I'm predicting to earn, or I will earn. So I'm actually going to put that in the actual from my partner Lewis to work with him in his business. Social media, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for 1 or 2 maybe deals on TikTok or Instagram. I feel like if I put it out there, if I put it out on the internet, then maybe brands will see it and they'll, I don't know, they'll want to work with me or something. I don't know. Look, let's just go $1,000. Let's just put a number out there. Make it semi-realistic. So 10,000, not 10,000. Oh my gosh, I wish. Let's say $1,000 for some sort of content creation, whether that be a brand deal, like a sponsorship, or a couple of UGC videos. Let's predict that we're going to earn $1,000 from social media in the month of May. Let's do that. Teaching, I actually already have days booked. I have, let me check. I think I have 5. Okay, yeah, I already have 5 days booked, but I'm assuming that I will probably get more. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. If let's say I do 10 teaching days, that'll be 4,100 because it's 410 a day. I already know that I'm doing 5. That's at the very, very end of the month. That'll be 5 days, and then spread over the next 3 weeks. Let's say I do another 5, like one week, or 2 or 3, or maybe all 5 in one go. Let's see, I'm not sure. So that's teaching. And then website, let's say, okay, January was under 1,000. February, I'm hoping that the AdSense or like the ad dollars have slightly increased. So maybe let's say 1,000. I'd be happy with 1,000. I think I said in a couple of previous videos, especially I think last year, I said the minimum that I want to earn from this recipe website, which is saltyginger.com if you are interested, is $1,000. That is like my, essentially like my play money. It's kind of what I can do whatever I want with it, which is mostly savings. It's either goes towards holidays or a savings account. Okay, so let's predict how much I'm going to earn. So 4,000 plus 1,000, here's hoping, plus 4,000 plus 1,000. I could totally probably do this in my head, which is $10,000. I definitely don't think that will, no, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's how much I'm gonna earn for the month. That's how much I'm gonna make. So let's say $10,000. Okay, so when it comes to $10,000 and that amount of earning, because teaching tax gets taken out automatically, so all of my teaching, it'll be taken out. So let's say, actually, let's change this. Let's take 30%-ish away from that. So let's say $1,200 less. So 4,100, take $1,200, be 2,900. I was gonna say that 4,000 looks crazy. 2,900. Okay. So then it'll be 10,000, and I just don't want to get this wrong. I could again do this in my head, but I don't want to look like a fool and get all my numbers wrong. Okay, 8,800. Let's work with this. Okay, so social media, website, and salary, I have to do my tax myself, which is roughly around 30%-ish. I can obviously do like expenses and stuff. So if I take salary 4,000, social media 1,000, and then website 1,000, that's $6,000. So then if I take $2,000 off of that total towards taxes, and then 11 or 10% for superannuation, which will be $600, plus another $300 for my student loans, that means I need to put aside $2,900 for that month in order to be able to pay all my taxes properly, have some money for my retirement, and pay the government back my student loan. So then if we take 8,800 away with 2,900, that leaves us $5,900 left to spend, roughly. Obviously, these calculations are going to be slightly different, especially with like the teaching income. It might fluctuate, it might go down. 5,900 left to play with. Let's move on to my fixed expenses, which hardly ever change. It's $30 a month for my phone bill. I'm with Woolworths Everyday like Rewards or Everyday Mobile, whatever it's called. I get 10% off one shop a month, but you have to do it in store. I really do recommend it because you essentially get your phone bill kind of for free, or at least like 50% off. Groceries, Lewis and I pay the same amount, which is $400 a month. That's for cat food and all of our food expenses. House bills, we do $160 each. I am interested to see how much our electricity bill is going to be because it's just been summer over here in Australia, and we've had our split system running quite a fair bit because obviously it's hot and I don't really like the heat. So I'm interested to see what that bill would be like. We do have, I think it's like $1,400 or it's definitely over $1,000 in our bill account. So I'm not worried about paying that bill. This is why we do the same amount every single month. So then if we do get a large gas, electricity, water bill, we're always able to pay it without dipping into our own savings. So I'm just curious to see how much that bill will be. I reckon it'll be a couple of $100, like $400, $500. I would be very surprised if it's over 500 because split systems are actually really like cost effective, especially because like we've got 4 in our house. 1, 2, 3, 4, but at any one time, we only ever have 1 running because they're pretty good. Like we've got 2 stories, but they cool and heat the house up pretty well. Spotify and Stan, I'm going to put aside 110. I think some of them have increased their rates, like Disney Plus or Spotify or Stan has. One of them I feel like has. So that means we're left with 5,200 left to budget. Petrol, let's put aside $100 because if I'm going to be teaching more, it means that I will need to drive more. And the school that I actually work at, I'm only working at one school because I get too confused on where I'm working. And with this school, I usually get a fair bit of work out of them anyway. It's not close, but it's not far. It's like a 25-minute drive. So $100 towards petrol, it might increase, we'll see. Splurge, let's go 400. This is for like coffees, going out for dinner, breakfast, any of that type of stuff. That means that we have got, 4,000. Oh my goodness, could you imagine? What am I buying? $500 for that, for variable expenses. That means that I'm left with 4,000, hopefully my calculations are correct, $4,700 left to budget. Let's move over to this side here. Okay, these contributions might change a little bit. This is about my sinking funds. So sinking funds are basically an accumulation account where you just keep adding money for certain things that you know are going to pop up, but the amount of money or the amount that you need might be slightly different. So for my sinking funds, I have car maintenance, so like servicing, car registration and insurance, Christmas because it happens every year, birthdays, they happen every year. Alfie, who is my nephew, I'm putting away a little bit of money for him. If he needs like clothes, or if my sister needs some money to pay for something like for him, I'm not sure. Clothes, that's my own personal clothes account. If I want a new pair of shoes and I've got enough money to buy those pair of shoes, I'll buy it without feeling guilty. Health insurance, and then I've actually included a new one, which is Europe. So Lewis and I would really like to go to Europe this year, later in the year, for 3 weeks to a month, going to maybe 3 different countries. He's never been to Europe, I have, but I really want to go back, and especially go back with someone. I've only ever gone by myself or with my family, which was great, but it would be nice to share it with him because I love him. Okay, so contributions. A lot of these are actually full, and that is because I used a big chunk of money, I think in my last pay, to fill them up. And so then when these bills come, there'll be enough for like the next year. So sometimes I'll have these saved a year in advance. I don't know, it just gives me a bit more of a buffer and makes me a little less anxious about how I'm gonna pay like my car registration or my service. So for my car maintenance, I contribute $84 every year. I'm just gonna go through the contribution first, and then I'm gonna go through what I've got in the account at the moment. Okay, so I will add $84. Car registration and insurance, I'm going to add 200 and let's do 216 towards those. Christmas, I do $50 every single month. Birthdays, $50. Alfie, he gets $50. Clothes, I get $50. Health insurance, I'm going to put $150 because I'm pretty sure my premium went up on the 1st of April. And then Europe, I'm going to try and put $1,000 towards Europe. Okay, so far, so if I'm just going to take all of these amounts away from what I've got left over, just so I can see how much I can put towards my savings. And then we'll go from there. And I'm hoping that my calculations are correct. Okay, so 4,000, oh no, and then 1,000. $3,050 left. Remember that, $3,050. Okay, so in my saved car maintenance, it's actually currently full. I did get my car serviced recently, but I actually had a fair bit of money in there because I had been saving it up for like years and I hadn't got my car serviced in like 18 months or something. So I currently have $1,010, but by the end of May, it'll have $1,094 because I'm adding the 84. So that's great. So the goal is 1,000. I'm already over that, which is amazing. Really happy. Car registration and insurance, that's currently on 1,803, but if I do 1,803 plus 216, it means my new saved will be 2,019. And like I said, this will just continue like to go. It'll just be ongoing until that bill comes. Christmas, I can see that my battery is gonna flash soon. Christmas is 227 plus 50, so 227 plus 50, I'll have 277. Birthdays, I did have to buy a couple of birthday presents recently. 367, so 367 plus 50, 417. Alfie, how much does he have currently in his account? I have to check. His account's doing pretty well actually. He's got 1,242 actually. 1,242. My clothes account will have 424. I haven't bought anything for a really, really long time. And then my health insurance currently has $1,210, but plus 150, it'll have $1,360. And then Europe currently has 1,000. I've already put a little bit of money aside, but if I add another 1,000, that'll be $2,000 towards Europe. So I'm getting pretty close. I'm only about $5,500 away from my goal of 7,500 for Europe. Now my savings account, I'm actually dedicating this as like a house deposit. It is a savings account, like just a general savings account, but I actually would really like to have this as a dedicated house deposit, either to purchase an investment property for just myself or to put the house deposit or money down with Lewis on an investment property or a home, a residential home with him. I currently have in that account 20,000. What do I have? I have 20,000, which is pretty good. $20,006. I'm going to contribute the whole thing. I'm going to try and contribute the 3,050. Yes, that would be so good, which means that I will have 23,000. Again, some of this might change. Like I might have a few expenses pop up that I just can't afford. Like I just can't, or I didn't think about, and then I have to take money out of this savings account, but that's okay. $23,056, which means I'm getting so much closer to the 100,000. 100,000 these days is probably not even enough for a house deposit, but let's say I buy like an apartment that's 550,000 and I use a 10% deposit, and then hopefully I'll have enough left over to pay the stamp duty and then do like a little mini renovation or something. 100,000 will probably take me a couple of years. I'm gonna say like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years to try and save, unless my social media income increases and takes off. That's what we're sort of like what am I trying to say? The ballpark will probably be like 5 to 10 years to actually save for that house deposit goal. My emergency funds, I'm not going to contribute to anything. The previous goal was 10,000. It's actually at, because of, it's actually at 11,000 now because of all of the, what do you call it? The interest and stuff on my account. I've also been adding like a little extra couple of dollars here and there over the last couple of months, but the goal was 10,000, but I have 11,000 in my emergency fund. And I really do highly recommend that if you do not have an emergency fund like in your account, that you get started today and you make an emergency fund. Anyway guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course I will see you in another video sometime in the very near future. See you later.